my app. Okay.
All right, we are live now.
Excellent.
Hey everyone, how's it going tonight?
Fantastic. Welcome to Nightcap with Icecap.
Yes, Nightcap with Icecap. This is our first official one.
In quite some time.
As the new Icecap board.
Yeah, it is. We had this idea rolling a while ago where we thought we would get together online and relax and talk and informally, but in a festive sort of way about educational technology ideas. Ron and I gave this idea a try a couple of years ago, and now we're here for 2018 to share some ed tech ideas that we love. So it's nice to see everybody.
Yeah. So let's just do a quick round of introductions. Tell us who you are and where you're coming from, and then if you are indulging in a nightcap beverage, if you want to share with the rest of the class what you are imbibing.
I'll go ahead and start.
Sean, why don't you go first?
Sean, yeah. Dude, Sean can go. That's totally fine.
All right. Yeah, this is actually my first Nightcap with Icecap, so having only joined a few months ago, so I'm the little baby fledgling member, I suppose. So I'm Sean Eichenseer. I do the social media. If you've read it on Twitter, I have tweeted it on the Icecap Twitter and such. So that's kind of what I'm in charge of. 8th grade language arts teacher at Smizer, I guess. And I'm currently enjoying, I thought I had some cherries left because of the whole Valentine's Day thing, but I don't. Uncle John's cider. They have blueberry, which is phenomenal. It's this orchard. What is it for apples? Orchard, right? Like way up in the middle of Michigan, like in the middle of nowhere. It's phenomenal. So it's starting to like gain more traction here. But yeah, Uncle John's cider is what I'm drinking tonight.
Fantastic. Speaking of ciders, here in Chicago, we just got our new cidery brew house up in my neighborhood of Old Irving Park called Eris. And they also make a blueberry one that was quite delightful. Checked it out last weekend. Hello, everyone. I'm Ron Carroll, the Chrome OS lead engineer for Chicago Public Schools, in charge of the roughly 164,000 Chromebooks in the district. And just having a nice little bourbon here, Maker's Mark tonight, and very excited to be talking about educational technology again with some good friends.
Awesome. I am Carolyn Skiba. If Sean is our fledgling, then I guess I'm the Icecap grandma. So I've been on the Icecap board for a while, and I'm really excited to be renewing this effort to try to offer some ideas and inspiration online so that people who can't necessarily get out of their house after school can, get some inspiration while you're home in your jammies and relaxing, and just get some ideas of how we can all support one another and make teaching and learning better for our kids. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm the technology specialist at Burley School in Lakeview. I've been teaching there for a long time, formerly a 3rd grade teacher. And I am not home, so I'm going to be muting myself a lot because I had to be out tonight with some parental transportation, meaning me being the parent. I'm not driving anybody's parents anywhere. But I had to drive my son down for some activities this evening. But I'm enjoying The Abyss by Deschutes, which is a delicious stout. So happy Nightcap with Icecap to all. And I'm excited to hear what you guys have to share tonight.
Great. And last but not least, my name is Michael Costco, and I work in the CPS STEM department. And this evening, I am enjoying a nice ginger tea.
Delightful.
Delightful, yes. Some of us still have some work to do tonight. All right, so we all
do our best work later.
So we all brought, the idea for tonight being the Valentine's Day Eve, that we were all going to bring at least one piece of technology, either an app, an extension, a physical device, something that we love. Exactly, Skip, something that we love. So we'll just kind of quickly just, share out what we piece of technology that we love, and then talk about why we love it so much and why we can't live without it.
Well, that totally changes my presentation. Thanks, Casco.
Are you telling me that at our Valentine nightcap, Ron, you were planning on being a total downer and talking about something awful? That's, well, I was going to say, if you're trying to bust the idea of central office occasionally being a fun wrecker, you're not, I'm just kidding. You're, come on, you've got all these, every time we see you, Ron, you've got all these amazing like Chrome extensions and great tips.
Oh,
and
I do.
Chromebooks.
It's the love thing. I've got an awesome tip to share.
Oh, is love like too strong a word for you? That's okay. We can moderate. We're
strong, man.
Okay. How about something cool?
Somebody roll us off. I have something okay. How about that?
Okay. Well, I'll jump in then
because Costco has something that I do love.
Yeah, Ron and I were actually geeking out about what I brought tonight, which is my Merge Cube. So the Merge Cube is about $15 at Target. I think, Ron, you have yours on your desk with you right now, right?
I do.
And actually, one of the things that I really geek out about is augmented reality apps. So this is basically a trigger or a giant QR reader. And then you download the apps and you can play all these different games using this. It's also got some really great education apps too. So you can look at the human heart, you can look at a skull. So I'm going to try to pull up one of them right now, and I should be able to see it on my phone.
Ooh.
So it's reversed right now, but you'll see, so there's the heart, you can see all the pieces of it. So it basically just scans this like you would with like a trigger image for an app like Erasmus, or if you're using any other kind of augmented reality app. And there's a bunch of games that go along with it, and it's a lot of fun to play with.
It is super fun to play with. And actually, on Amazon, they're like under $10 now.
What's that little goodie called again, Michael? So that we can, anybody who's watching this either live or later, Merge Cube. We are going to be tweeting and sharing all of this so that if you hear a resource that you're like, whoa, that sounded cool, but I was too comfortable in my pajamas to write it down, don't worry. We'll totally put it on the IceCap website, and we'll also tweet it out so that you can have all the information for the things we're talking about tonight.
So a question for you, Michael.
The
Merge Cube, I personally have an Android phone, and it works great with that. Is it cross-platform?
It is a cross-platform. As far as I know, it works well with Android, with iOS. Obviously, I'm working with iOS. They also sell Merge Cube goggles. So this would be the augmented reality experience. So if you're just looking at your phone, they sell the goggles so you fit your phone in there, and then you can have a virtual reality experience. So again, that difference is...
Sorry, just to clarify, you would not look like a nerd at all wearing those goggles. Am I right?
They're just big purple goggles. Yeah.
Nice.
Look completely normal. So, augmented reality versus virtual reality. So virtual reality is when you're closed off and you're in this digital world, whereas augmented is like I just showed on my phone where you, there you go. Ron, of course, has his virtual reality goggles all ready to go, where augmented puts digital elements on real world elements. So like this cube right here.
I'm not saying I'm feeling a competitive element here at our first renewal of Nightcap with IceCap, but I do feel like the speed with which he was able to bust out those nerd goggles was a little intimidating. I'm just going to say it.
I mean, part of me is wondering where Giacobbe is.
Yes, we need Nick Giacobbe. So some of our IceCap team members obviously are not online tonight, but next time we could perhaps make it Nerdfest Smackdown. Make it happen.
We have a new member that has just joined us. Kasha, if you would go ahead and introduce yourself. We just learned about Merge Cube.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Kasha Durza, and I teach STEM at Azuela Elementary School. And I see about 700 students every week, so I have a variety of kids that I get to work with.
Excellent.
Great. Thanks for introducing yourself, Kasha. I'm glad you're able to join us.
Sorry, I was late.
Oh, you're fine. So I just went through and talked to everyone about my merge cube. Do you want to tell us about the technology that you brought to the hangout tonight?
Yes, actually, can you wait 1 second? I have to grab it.
No problem.
Absolutely.
It's my pregnancy brain. All right.
Michael, show off that cube one more time.
Yeah, let's see another app while we're
waiting.
What else can it do? Mike?
There's a really cool one called Dig. So fans of Minecraft would like this one because it turns your cube basically into a Minecraft box, and then you can build different worlds. There you go. From there.
Michael, while she's getting organized, can you talk a little bit about, I mean, this is obviously a really cool thing and a great way to visualize different things. What do you think would be one great classroom idea that you could use the Merge Cube for? Like, where would you see this being a really great fit for us with our kids?
Yeah, so augmented reality is really great for like PE classes, health classes, or even science when you're learning about the human body. So that heart example was really cool. What I just showed with the Dig app, where you could build out almost like Minecraft around here, could be great for modeling, cities or historic structures. So instead of doing a book report on, I don't know, the Sears Tower, you could actually build a model of it on this cube and then, show different aspects of the design process.
Should I go now?
Yeah, Kasha, it's all you.
All right. So I actually have two tech toys that are pretty new to me, and I just started to experience with them. One of the tech toys is my new Jimu robot. His name is MeBot. And he's this cool guy that actually my students built. I received the Donors Choose grant, and it actually came in about 2 weeks ago. And I basically gave my students a box and I said, here, build it, because I don't know how to do it. So the four of them, actually, they've been in my Swift Playgrounds class, in my coding class. So at this point, they're pretty good with like building and, applying the code that they learned. So they are able to build him in 2 class periods. Now, it does come with instructions on the iPad. There's a Gmo app on the iPad. And I don't know if you can see this pretty well, but it lets you pick which robot you can use. So it comes with different robots that you can build in a package, but I think this robot, the MeBot, has the most amount of like stuff that they can do with him. And then they follow with model and actually build him out. I don't know if you can see it, kind of, there he is. And you go through the build out process. So they basically start off from these tiny little pieces. You could see the process that it took from the beginning to building, and finally all the way at the end. So it was really cool to see them work together and actually build it out and see that, this is not just a toy that comes in a package and we play with it, but we actually build it. And then within this app, they can actually program him. But what was really cool is because they did learn how to use Swift Playgrounds, there is a playground for him. So they were able to learn, use the Swift code that they've been learning to actually use it with him. So that was a really cool feature that I thought it was pretty awesome. And I have one more. Any questions about him?
No, but I just want to give you a shout out because you are the Swift Playgrounds expert and super pro. And so anybody who's interested in learning about Swift Playgrounds and the Apple Everyone Can Code curriculum and really looking at great ways to incorporate coding into your curriculum, Kasha's going to be running an event in April, right, Kasha? For
yes.
people to learn how to do that?
And you can actually, when you come in, you'll have a chance to play with all these awesome robots that I have. And I have a lot of them. These are just a few that I have. And then I have, you may have seen these before. This is a drone. This is a parrot drone. And this is also pretty new to my classroom. I got it in about January. And just like my MeBot, GmuBot, this can also be programmed with Swift. And it really shows the kids that what we're programming when we're coding, and they're actually coding. They're not using just block-based coding. They're actually writing code. When they're coding, they are able to see that the code that they actually make can produce something and can make something happen. So it's not just like a person on a screen, but the drone or whatever it is actually can move and perform an action. So they have it within Swift Playgrounds app. There is a playground for Parrot Drone where it comes with lessons. So it kind of applies again the same skills that they've learned in a different way. And kids really love doing that. And I have 4 of them. So again, if you come to the event in April, you'll get to play with them and fly them around my school. We don't go outside yet because it's too cold, but maybe in April we can fly them outside. And I can just quickly kind of show you. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it comes with different lessons that they can do. And it teaches them basically from how to take off and wait in air for 4 seconds and land, all the way to creating your own path and making him twist and turn and flip and all these other cool things that they can do with it. So these are my 2 lovely gadgets that I even brought home to play with, because who doesn't want to play with these? And that's it.
That's
Fantastic.
so cool. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, the drones are awesome. Did you show your students the drones flying in the opening ceremonies?
The what?
Did you see the opening ceremonies with all the drones flying in? They were all synchronized, so they flew into the shape of a snowboarder and then turned into the Olympic rings. It was like 1,200 drones. It was really incredible.
I did not see that. I was not watching. I was at a movie actually during the opening
I have
ceremony.
a feeling you could probably find that on YouTube.
Yeah, but I should definitely see it. I actually did another thing that I did talk to the kids about the SpaceX launching, and how like robots. I mean, it's a pretty much a big robot. So I was surprised that like the day after when I showed it to them, only maybe 1 out of 90 kids that I showed it to heard about it. So I thought it was a pretty big thing that happened for them to see some history in the making.
Very nice.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing.
Of course.
All right, Sean,
Right,
what you
who's up
got?
next?
What now?
Sean,
What
you
you got, Sean?
voluntold.
Oh, I did. I've got about 1,000 different things. None of them nearly as cool, right? Because I'm a ELA teacher, right? We don't get the
Wait a minute.
super cool all the
I gotta
time.
object to that, and I will object to it strenuously.
Please.
When it's my turn. No, go ahead.
Oh,
but don't
okay.
don't downplay the awesomeness of the things kids can do in a reading and writing classroom, because that is sad. Don't do
I
that.
will point out that the CPS Tech Innovator of the Year last year, who just happens to be an amazing ELA teacher and my wife. So you can do a lot of awesome technology in an ELA classroom.
Allow me to rephrase.
Please do.
Until I can get a kid to understand the 6 different types of conflict with a drone, right? That's what I'm running into. But I've got 1,000 different like web apps and a bunch of stuff that I use. What I'd like, honestly, is to be able to put a Google Home in my classroom. That would be my dream come true. They don't work on secured networks, which totally makes sense. And I get there's a bunch of like issues with like it would be recording students and stuff. I totally get it. It's a nightmare. But like in my heart, in my like little kid soul, I would love to put a Google Home in my classroom. So many applications. One of the big ones, I have a list of like 50 because I didn't know if I would need 1 or if I would need 50, is managing my classroom library. because I have a ton of books, and I was trying to figure out a way of like keeping them all straight and keeping them all together and giving kids a way to like check out. And the binder wasn't working, the clipboard wasn't working, and I stumbled upon a website called Book Retriever. I promise I'm not a shill. I'm not getting paid under the table. But I really, really liked how they did it. I was able to scan books with my phone. It brought it up instantly. It pulls from like Scholastic and all these different places. And I was able to build my entire classroom library where kids are able to check it out. And it looks like the Chicago Public Library website. And kids are able to go to the computer, check out books, all sorts of things. It has changed my classroom library. It has flipped it on its head. So again, that's Book Retriever is what that's called. It is super easy. There's a mobile app where kids can actually scan the barcodes of the books and it checks the books out.
And you're going to tweet the link to that later, right? The IceCap.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I cannot talk and tweet at the same time, so I keep running into
me neither. It's okay.
I can't do it. I can't. I was trying to do the merge cube, and that was too strenuous. But yes, tweets
maybe
will be going out
we'll
later.
like schedule some tweets, and we'll have it all pre-planned, and it'll be like everyone will be like, "Whoa, how'd they do that?" And we'll be like, "We just did."
Amazing. Yes. Doing this in the moment has been, but yeah. So like I said, 1 of 50. So if we're doing a rotation, you can always come back to me, but bookretriever.com makes setting up a classroom library within minutes. Kids love it. It has big pictures of the covers. Like it's very engaging, even for my 8th graders. It's awesome.
Fantastic. Out of curiosity, can you pull that up and share the screen? I'd love to see how that looks.
Can. You know the tech that I'm working with, so let's see what happens, shall we? All right.
So we might lose Sean in this process.
Share my screen. Share my screen. Get over here, you little.
You know, we can work with anything. We're IceCap.
Okay, I am now screen sharing, and now Ron's looking at his own face. Okay. So bookretriever.com, they have a free version and they've got a paid version. It's like $30, 36, whatever, a year, which honestly, I am more than willing to pay because I lose so many books every year because the clipboard sign out or the binder sign in and out, or I know teachers that would like devote a whole wall to little index cards. That's awesome, but it just wasn't meeting my students' needs. And I kept losing books like constantly. So you gotta log in, fortunately. There we go. And it has your entire library pulled up catalog style. Of course, it's loading slow because websites can smell fear. And when you're on the ball. There we go.
All of our viewers are judging you right now, Sean.
9.6.
So it shows up. This is just by title in alphabetical order. These are all books that are in my library. And I was able to scan it. It has a mobile app for iOS and Android. I was able to scan the barcode on the back or enter the ISBN and hold it right up.
How long did it take you to scan?
So let's say a kid really wants to check out Bunnicula, right? He clicks it. It pulls all of this different information from Scholastic and from all these different sources. So it has like a little synopsis right here of like a background about the book and everything. So kids are able to kind of look through stuff based on their interests, based on what they might want to read. And I didn't have to enter all this. I didn't have to copy and paste all this in. Let me pull back to my library. Come on now. There we go. What I also really like is it keeps a running total of how many books, right? Available. Totally cool. Right now, I have 15 overdue books, which is great. I'm glad that they have them and they're taking them home and they're reading them. That warms my heart. It really does. But it gives me a record of at some point what books I need to go and hunt down from kids to put back in my library. And it just pulls up a whole list of what books are still overdue.
Well, and I love this activity pane on the side that shows you exactly who has checked out what. That's nice.
It's a really great social aspect too, because kids are seeing what other kids are checking out and what other kids are reading. And a book goes from collecting dust to being very popular very quickly. It just takes kind of one kid and then it kind of snowballs after that. But I have yet to find an easier way to set up kind of an engaging and useful, worthwhile classroom library check-in, check-out system. I recommend it to everybody I can.
Well, and I also noticed at the sign-in page that it integrates with Clever, which I know there's some, I'm not involved in any of them, but I know there's some pilots around the district with Clever integration. So that's something interesting to think about.
That is also true, actually. I wish it had the Google integration as well. But the Clever coming down the pipe is also very nice.
Sean, is there any way for kids to add their own book reviews to your book retriever space?
I'm sorry, Carolyn, can you say that one more time?
Is there any way for kids to add their own ratings or reviews to your book retriever so that kids can kind of get a sense of like...
No.
Okay.
Currently, no. That's actually one of the downsides. The benefit of the system is that it pulls from all these catalogs so that I don't have to put in this information solo. But a downside is aside from that activity panel on the side, there isn't that kind of social sort of aspect. The kids can see what they're checking out, but there's no recommendation. It's not like Amazon. Like the kids can't rate books 5 stars or anything like that. I take care of that more like in class. I really do love Book Retriever for just managing my books.
That makes sense. Totally.
That's very cool. And shout out to
I think there's going to be a lot of
shows.
ELA teachers or teachers with this big classroom library, so are going to be really happy that you shared this resource.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. It's outstanding.
That is very cool. And quick shout out to the fact that little tiny Ron Carroll, you chose to click on one of my favorite books when I was a little kid. Bunnicula, Celery Stalks at Midnight, and Holiday Inn were all favorites of mine when I was a little child.
You're a Bunnicula fan, huh?
Huge. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. I haven't met anyone else who's ever read them. That's awesome.
Oh, totally have read them.
That's amazing.
We should add that to our ice cap profiles, and it could be sort of like a Rorschach test of sorts about our personalities and
childhood favorite books,
and also sneak clues about our age and what books we liked when we were younger. So maybe we should avoid that one. But
I wish I knew this app before. I remember in my first year teaching first grade, I literally sat for 2 weeks after school for probably an hour each day and put little cards in the books, and yeah, the cards get lost right away. So,
oof,
would have been nice to know.
Been there.
Yep.
I have colleagues who have used Padlet and done just the kids will take a selfie with the book they have. So it's just a very visual, and the most recent posts are at the top, and so you just get this stream of who has what, but the kids see if a book cover shows up multiple times that they can get a sense like, wow, that book is really popular. And then kids can also add a little review there. It certainly doesn't have all the comprehensive information of something like Book Retriever, but we've used that at our school with some success as well. So it's another option for people who might not know Padlet, something to check out.
Awesome. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah, it works pretty well because it's very visual. It's free. Gosh, Padlet should have been actually my thing because I love Padlet, but it's so hard to decide when you're trying to pick things out that you're going to share. But
well, and that sounds like a perfect transition. Carolyn, what do you have to share?
Dun 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 dun. Okay. Actually, I wanted to share something that's sort of an old tool that has added some new twists. And by old, obviously, with technology, everything's relative. But I wanted to talk a little bit about 3 apps that I really like, and I will be very, very brief. Our school is a one-to-one iPad school, but the tools that I love, at least 2 of the 3, are very successful on other platforms as well. So the first one I want to talk about a little bit is Book Creator. Are any of you guys Book Creator users? Anyone?
Ooh, it's been ages.
No.
Okay. So, Sean, I know you are not an iPad guy, but you will be excited to know that Book Creator for Chrome has made incredible progress and is working on adding more collaborative features. So, the big idea of Book Creator, and I apologize, I was going to be on my computer and do some screen sharing, but the Wi Fi at my current location is suboptimal. So, I'm on my phone. So, I just have to kind of do some whatever to make this all work. But I do have my iPad with me. And so Book Creator is a fabulous app where kids of all ages can create and publish their own multimedia books. And so this is a sample that I used to run the last couple of years, a global project where we would have schools around the world prepare some pages that we would combine into this book, so into a digital book. And one of the things I love about Book Creator is how easy it is to collect content from multiple authors and put it together into a single book. And so you can see as you go through a Book Creator, can you guys see this? Is this working? Yep. Cool. As you go through a Book Creator book, people are able to incorporate images, text, video, and a lot of different media and audio. And again, we have first graders publishing their own books this way. So this is an example that includes media from a bunch of different schools. But our first graders will often publish their writing this way. And it's such a great thing where they don't necessarily even have to type their writing. Oftentimes they will take a photo of the book that they've created using markers or crayons or pencils, and then read it aloud using the audio and publish their book in that way. And so that people who can't necessarily make out what the first graders invented spelling might have been trying to convey are able to read and experience that book. And it really gives the kids this really sense of pride and audience when they're able to publish their book in a really authentic, cool kind of way. But if on Chrome you go to I hope this is right, app.bookcreator.com, or you can just like search for Book Creator. The makers of Book Creator are very pro teacher and really interact a lot with teachers and with their users and have incorporated a lot of features. I'm just pulling it up to make sure I know what I'm talking about in terms of the URL. Yes, it's app.bookcreator.com. You can log in with your Google account and publish books online, and they're about to start working on having real-time collaboration incorporated with that. So if you're looking for a great way for your kids to be able to publish multimedia work for an authentic audience, the things that you create on an iPad or a tablet can also be uploaded for public viewing online. So it's really a one-step publishing process in terms of being able to have multiple people access what the kids have created. So I'm super psyched about Book Creator, and I feel like they're changing it and improving it all the time. And if you want your kids of any age to publish, I would use Book Creator without up through high school without hesitation. The last thing I want to say about Book Creator, unless anybody has any questions or comments, is that Book Creator also has added in recent years, let me see if I can get this to come up on my iPad, has added templates that are comic templates. And so you can incorporate more of a graphic novel kind of layout into what the kids are creating. And so when you go to add elements to your book, these are the different things that you can add. So you can add text boxes, you can add sort of text accents, you can add images, video, you can add panels, comic panels, speech bubbles, thought bubbles, stickers, all different kinds of elements to really allow kids to express their creative ideas as well as convey information in a really cool way. And so I just think it's very flexible. It can be used across the curriculum. It's very multi-age, and it, again, can give kids that access to differentiation and an authentic audience, which we know are sort of gold in our classroom with our kids. And the best part is Book Creator on the iPad is free for publishing your first book. So as long as you don't need multiple books on your device at a time, you can use the free version of the app. And as far as I can tell, the Chrome version is always free, although there might be something I'm missing about that. So Book Creator, so good. Does anyone want to talk more about that, or should I say about something else, or should I just stop talking?
I just want to quickly say thank you, because I loved Book Creator on the iPad, and even though I'm the Chromebook guy, I had no idea that they had launched an online version that works on Chrome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really big deal, and it's really, when they first started working on it, it seemed at first like what they were doing was they had added a new button to the app where when you go to share, there's now an option. So this is a little share square under a book. And let's see if we can get that to come in. And so you can see the bottom option is publish online. And so this can actually upload directly to an online teacher account. So if you're logged in on the devices, or if you have the kids send you the EPUB via Google Classroom or via Drive, you can then do some editing if you need to before it goes live. Like, you don't have to log in on the kids' devices. So it just really gives you the different levels of control you might want, the different levels of audience you might want, and also that sort of cross-platform experience, which, you know, I mean, we know that devices come and go, and sometimes we get things donated in our classroom that we're like, great, now I have 4 iPads and 4 Chromebooks. Could my kids all be publishing? And with something like this, the answer would be yes. And so I just think I'm totally pumped about it.
Yeah, I was right there with Ron. I had just assumed that it was for iPad, so I'm super excited to dive in and start playing around with it on Chrome now.
Super cool. Super
Because
cool.
Chrome is a great platform.
Ron, do you love Chrome? Did you bring something fabulous
do
about
love
Chrome
Chrome.
you'd like to share with us? Tell us more, Ron Carroll.
I do. So I had intended to bring a fun device home, but I completely forgot and left it on my desk. But what I was going to show with this fun device is one of the things that, of course, you know, Apple, you guys have had this for a while. Windows has had this for a while. Mac has had this for a while. But one of the things that's just come to Chromebooks this year is stylus support. And one of the things that's really cool that Google is doing is this concept of a universal stylus. So they're building the technology into the screen and not into the stylus itself. So they're working with Wacom and building these Wacom screens into a lot of the newer devices. And these styluses that literally look like a number 2 pencil, and they don't need any pairing. So the concept being, you could have a jar at the front of the classroom with a bunch of pencils in there, and if students need to use a stylus-enabled app or whatever, they can just go up, grab a stylus, use that, return it, with the concept of them being under $10. So I was going to show that off, but left it on my desk. That being said, one of the cool things, which I'm going to share now, is all of my friends in the science and math field always complain about Chromebooks and showing your work. It's a difficult thing. However, and let's do this screen share. And now I'm showing Sean himself. And now I'm just showing my desktop. Okay, Equatio. This is an extension you can get for Chrome, which allows you to do various ways of including mathematical equations into various forms. So once you've installed this, so you would go to the web store, look for Equatio, click on that, and install it. And it becomes a little extension that you can add, and in a document, say, you can launch it, and it gives you this variety of tools that come into play. And what is really cool is this handwriting. So I'm doing this with a mouse and not with a stylus, so it's going to be really awesome. But let's say that you, click on that, watch that. I need to do X plus Y. Those are easy things. You can do that typing. But what if I wanted to do something like, oh, that's a really great pi. No, it didn't work because my mousing is terrible. Okay. Love it when things work out great. Pi. There we go. Pi r squared. Okay. Squared. No, that's not squared. That would be squared. And now I'm just doing mathematical things that don't even really make sense. There's also speech inputs. So you could say, pi r squared. And notice that it added it right over here, and now it's actually listening to me, and those are not mathematical equations. This presentation is going so well.
I'd just like to give a shout out right now for Ron Carroll, who is actually extremely legitimate, knowledgeable Chrome dude. And so I just want to appreciate you, Ron.
Thank you. Thank you a lot.
You're welcome.
So while we're on that,
and this looks really helpful. So I'm not like that was. I mean,
no, it is very cool.
Because I do agree with you that this is one of the concerns.
Yes, absolutely. Here, I'll stop sharing for a moment.
Ron, just speaking for STEM teachers in the district, if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen one more time and just showing how easy it is to insert that equation into your doc.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I know that a lot of times we hear from teachers that are trying to make worksheets or different activities for their students to practice, math formulas or any kind of chemical equations, and it's just so helpful with the way that Equatio just allows you to insert whatever you did.
So now that I've built this amazing formula, all I have to do is insert, and it inserts this amazing mathematical formula that I feel like people for years to come will be trying to figure out what this actually means.
I think they use that for the drones for the Olympics. I think that's the same equation.
Oh, you're right. I think this is the equation that Merge Cube is based on.
Let me try it. Let me try it.
Ron, it's also worth mentioning, because this is what I always ask when someone's showing me something cool, that Equatio is free for teachers.
Yes, it is absolutely free. So you just go and download the extension, and it is free. There are, of course, additional features I think that you can unlock for pay, but all of the important stuff of allowing kids to show their work, and you can also do it in a variety of ways here. Like if you know LaTeX, which I know is a language for setting up mathematical formulas, you could type that in. You can do the handwriting. You can do the speech. And it's super easy to add that into the document. So now you've got a digital version of the formula for showing your work.
Please tell me that I was showing my screen that whole time and not just Sean.
You totally
you
were.
You're good.
Okay. Yes.
And
For a second, I was worried.
I'm going to ask you a really dumb question about a stylus, because I have never used a stylus of any kind with a Chromebook. We do have Chromebooks at my school, and I'm wondering, is this something that requires a certain type of Chromebook or model of Chromebook to function with the stylus? This isn't just any Chromebook.
So with any Chromebook, you can use these, old style, fat tip, rubber, this style of stylus will work on any device. But the new ones that have just come out in literally the last few months, and none of them are available for purchase in CPS currently. However, it is a very cool thing, and this is one of the things that I'm pushing for my platform in CPS, is we've never had a touchscreen model of Chromebooks. And now that these exist, I'm pushing that the only option that we will have is this stylus-enabled version. There are just regular touchscreen models, but the stylus ones, they've built the technology into the screen, and it's pretty impressive. I wish I could have shown that off next time.
No, that's really cool.
Next hangout for sure.
Yeah. And Michael, you can come upstairs anytime and I'll show you. But they're brand new. It's very cool. So.
Right. Ron and I are lucky enough to work in the same building. So we get to catch up over lunch and geek out about random new apps and technology that we come across.
Indeed. So,
all right, everyone. So I think that is kind of wrapping it up for our first official Nightcap with Icecap. Is there any last words of wisdom for anyone before we start signing off?
I'm going to throw out a word of wisdom, which is more of a plug, which is that if anybody out there is not aware of the ICE conference, which is coming up in Schaumburg at the end of this month, if you go to iceberg.org, the ICE conference is really the best ed tech professional development you can get in Northern Illinois or statewide. It is really an amazing opportunity for you to get your feet wet, as well as get deeper knowledge in a wide range of educational technologies, strategies, and tools. It's really a teacher-focused conference, I feel. It's not like a techie conference. So I would encourage anybody to take a look at iceberg.org, consider registering, talk to your principal, and see if you can get being an opportunity to go. The dates are, I don't know, since I'm not on my laptop. Is it the 26th to the 28th? Am I right about that?
February 26th through the 28th.
Yeah, so check it out if you have the opportunity. I just wanted to get that in there before we got offline because it's a big deal for ICE. It's a big deal for our region. And I think it's really a big deal for teachers to really keep our knowledge as current as we can and make sure we're reaching our learners and meeting their needs in as many different ways as possible.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Thanks for sharing with that. Skip, I completely forgot to plug that. And like you said, it is a completely amazing experience. I always leave with a ton of new ideas and new connections and new friends, and feel like it's really improved my practice over the past couple of years as I've attended every year. All right, so let's wrap up. Good night, everyone. We'll be back hopefully next month. Next month or next 2 months, we'll see how it goes. And we'll be in touch with all the members as well about coding with Swift Playground that Kasha's going to be leading next month for us.
Yep. Excited to show you guys other
and then all
robotics.
And all the robots will be there. And then please follow us on Twitter too. We'll be sharing out all the different tech ideas and links that we discussed tonight. And that is at IceCap Chicago, all spelled out IceCap, and then Chicago, no spaces. And we will see you soon.
See you soon.
Good night.
Good night.